Moving on, amidst the escalating tensions between Pakistan and Afghanistan, the latter is now following India's example. Afghanistan has now said that blood and water will not flow together, and therefore the Supreme Leader of Taliban has ordered immediate construction of dams on the Kunar River. This move is being seen as many as a flashpoint that will escalate tensions between Kabul and Islamabad. In a CNN News 18 exclusive news break, here's what we have learned: that Afghanistan has made it one thing clear, that blood and water cannot flow together, a message that India sent to Pakistan earlier this year. Taliban Supreme Leader Hibatullah Akhundzada has ordered immediate construction of dams on the Kunar River. Taliban's Water Minister Abdul Latif Masoor has confirmed the same, saying that Afghans have the right to manage their own water resources. Now, River Kunar is 480 kilometers long. It originates from Pakistan's Chitral area, but it falls and passes in Afghanistan's Nangarhar and Kunar provinces and ends back in Pakistan's Indus River. The Kabul and Kunar rivers, which flow into Pakistan from Afghanistan, they are a huge source of water for Pakistan, and this move by Afghanistan could spell trouble for them. But as many in India are wondering, as Afghanistan also plans dams on the shared Pak River, is this just desserts for this rogue nation?
हम ज़ीरो टेंशन के तरफदार हैं, और अगर और नहीं चाहता है तो फिर अफगानिस्तान के पास और रास्ते भी हैं।
Rajiv Dogra, former diplomat and former Consul General in Karachi, is joining us on this story that we are tracking. Rajiv Dogra, I want to begin by asking you, what do you make of this move? It seems to be an effort from Afghanistan to, in a way, give the same message that India had given earlier, reiterate the kind of message that India had given to Pakistan earlier, that blood and water will not flow together.
Well, I'm glad you used the phrase water and blood cannot go together, because that's exactly the Afghan resentment, that Pakistan bombed their civilians for no rhyme or reason. First they bombed in Kabul, a couple of children also died there. Then they bombed in the southern part of Afghanistan repeatedly. First in the beginning of the conflict, then towards the end of the conflict. And in fact, one bombing even after the conflict. So when Afghanistan says blood and water cannot go together, their complaint tends to coincide with the Indian resentment over the years, over the last 40 years, when Pakistan has been bleeding India. So Afghanistan has now said that, okay, if you have done this to our civilians, please wait and see, because we will squeeze water out of your rivers. And that is going to cost Pakistan a great deal, because 75% of surface water in Pakistan comes from Indian and Afghan rivers, much more from Indian than Afghan rivers. But even a slight reduction by Afghanistan would mean havoc in both KPK and in Punjab.
Do you see this as some sort of a point of no return as far as Afghanistan and Pakistan relationship is concerned? That, you know, even Afghanistan is saying enough is enough, and there could be it could be a point of no return as far as this relationship is concerned, and this relationship is important for the security of this region.
Well, Pakistan was quite pleased with the fact that Americans had been voted out. In fact, if you ask Pakistani leadership, Nawaz Sharif, for example, styled himself as Fateh Kabul after Russians were voted out, that he was the one responsible for kicking out Soviets or Russians out of Afghanistan. So they feel a sense of ownership, particularly after America, because of, again, Pakistani actions, was defeated and booted out of Afghanistan, quite like the Soviets earlier. So Pakistan thought that now they had Afghanistan fully under their control, because Taliban had been sponsored by Pakistan. But as it turns out, Pakistan's terms of control were not quite to the liking of Afghan Taliban. And that is why resentment has been building up over the years. And now, particularly, the Pakistani fencing of the Durand line was bubbling over of that resentment because no regime in Afghanistan has ever accepted Durand line as a border. And Taliban, even in the first government of theirs, had made it very clear that Durand line is a no-go. And this time, they made sure that after this Qatar meeting, where the ceasefire was announced, Qatar had mistakenly referred to Durand line as a border. So Taliban made sure that they deleted that reference and made it into a Durand line. So that is one cause of the resentment. But the major causes are two. One, of course, the civilian bombing and killing of the three cricketers of the Afghan
Yes.
cricket teams. So that had caused a deep hurt. That why kill civilians? I mean, it's a fight between armies. Then keep it at that level.
No, absolutely.
Killing
And
civilians is a war crime.
it seems like there's literally
On
no
top
love
of that,
lost
Pakistan.
as far as Pakistan and Afghanistan is concerned now. But this situation could be dangerous for the region, Rajiv Dogra. So I want to understand from you, how should India view this? This AFPAC region, being embroiled in this kind of a fight is never a good idea.
Well, I think India would certainly be watching the developments very carefully because it is not a disinterested observer of Afghan-Pakistan region. After all, Pakistan had always wanted Afghanistan to be its strategic depth. So India would not want a situation where that materializes. As far as opening of another front is concerned, that will be because of Pakistan's own misdeeds and the growing resentment. After all, even at best of times when Pakistan assumed that Afghan governments were under its control, if you asked any normal, common Afghan citizen, man or woman, they would say Indians are our best friends and Pakistanis, we hate them. So if that feeling percolates down to the ground level, then it is bad news for Pakistan. And they also know, the common Afghans and the governments, including the present government of Taliban, they know that every development work in Afghanistan has been done in India, whether it is two dams, since we're talking of river waters also, two dams. One is called Indo-Afghan Friendship Dam, and it generates about 43 megawatts, built at a cost of about $350 million. The other is called Shetut Dam, which is under construction and will provide water to all of Kabul. The third dam, which we started talking about, is on the river Kunar. And when that is built, Pakistan should forget all about its strategic depth and think seriously in terms of the desertification of KPK and Punjab, which seems very likely if it does not mend its ways. So India really has an interest because India does not want a nosy Pakistan to be disturbing the entire region and entire neighborhood.
No, absolutely. That's the big worry for India. But I do thank you, Rajiv Dogra, for joining us on one CNN News 18 exclusive. Afghanistan also following in India's example. Time for a very short break. More news lined up in just a minute.